everybody, it's Jasmine. So today I have my tutorial on how to teach you guys how to blend. This is my iconic maroon smoky eye that you see me wear like every single day of my life. So I hope you guys all enjoy the video. Thank you guys so much for requesting this video, and if you want to see how I got this look, then please keep on watching. I have you guys fully zoomed in. Now let's get started into the how to blend portion. Now I have this palette right here full of my single eyeshadows. All of these are from ShopMissA except for these two right here. This one's by ColourPop and this one's by ABH. I do have a video talking about all my single eyeshadows, so if you're curious about that, I'll have it linked somewhere. And I wanted to focus this look with all matte shades because I feel like it will give you guys a good representation on how to blend, and it's a little bit more easier that way. So as you can see in this palette, I have a matte white, two transition shades right here, a dark brown, and then a beautiful maroon brick red. Now I personally love my maroon smoky eyes. I think they're pretty iconic. I've been doing it for about like 3 years. It's been a long journey with my little maroon smoky eyes. Let's start off with blending out the concealer that's already on my eyes. I don't typically wear primer on my eyes, but I do wear concealer or foundation on top of my eyelid. So I don't know if you guys can clearly see, but I have just a little bit of creasing. So what I do is I take one of my favorite brushes to just blend that out. This is by ShopMissA. This is their high def brush E108. And I pretty much just blend out those creases. This is my favorite concealer brush by far. This step is different for a lot of people. Some people just like to go straight into their colored eyeshadow, but for me personally, I love to just set it in place and make the whole entire base smooth and soft for application because I feel like I get a better blend that way. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that cream shade right up here and I'm going to pat it onto my eyelid as so. And this is the E107 brush, again one of the sculpting brush sets from ShopMissA, one of my favorites. Blending brushes. I get a lot of questions on blending brushes. My number one blending brush is always going to be my Sigma E40. I've had this one since I was 16 years old and I've used it in many tutorials. So this one is definitely a ride or die. This is a great blending brush because it has a 2-year warranty. It's great quality. It may be more expensive than what you're used to paying for just a blending brush, but I guarantee you, out of me buying all these BH Cosmetic brush sets, cheaper eye brushes, this is definitely one that has maintained its quality since. And another great blending brush set that I really like is the ShopMissA Paw Charity brush set. I think that these are great because unlike BH brushes, I know I'm going to refer to them a lot because I did start out when I did makeup, I started out with BH Cosmetic brushes, so I'm just going to compare the quality between them. And this one, I feel like this stays intact. This little handle right here stays intact, and when I wash these brushes, the hairs don't poof out, kind of like one of my Morphe brushes. Hold on. This is my Morphe R40, and I went to the Morphe store yesterday. This brush, you know what this brush is supposed to look like? This brush is supposed to look like this. That's how big the brush hairs are supposed to be. So that's what I mean when, you know, the brush hairs kind of explode and they get a little bit more dispersed. Some people like that, but I just find that this maintains the shape very well no matter what method of brush cleaning I am using. So that's what I really like. And it's also a 10-piece brush set for $10, and you're donating to charity while you're at it. So it's a win-win situation. It's just great. So with those brushes out of the way, I am gonna just go in with my Sigma E40. I'm gonna take this warm nude right here because I just like warm nudes. And I'm going to pop that into my crease, but a little bit higher because I do have Asian eyes and we do have like little to no eyelid. So what I do is I just push my brush in, and wherever it lands, you basically just follow that shape. And I personally like to bring my transition shades high up because when I do lashes and liner, I like to make my eyes look bigger than normal. So I just like to create that illusion with my eyeshadow, and this is just going to pretty much be the base of the other shades that I will apply later. I am just going to pretty much buff it out I do also just slightly blend out the edges right here when I feel like I don't have a lot of product left on my brush. I'll just go ahead and re-blend those edges so it looks nice and smoked out. To really focus in on that crease, I really like my Sigma E35. This is one of my other first blending brushes that I got for Christmas when I was 16, and this has definitely been a staple. It's been a ride or die. Now, I have similar brushes to this in my collection as well. I have these two brushes. This one is actually from the ShopMissA Faux Mink brush set. You have to buy the whole brush set in order to get this brush, but if you already have it, I'm just letting you know that the E135 is pretty good. Like, it's a pretty good match. Like, it'll give you the same effect, but it's not the same shape. It's just the size of the brush that really counts. And this one by Furless, this is their ME3 brush. This one is very, very fluffy as opposed to something a little bit more dense, but it will give you the same type of look essentially. So those two are great, and they are pretty affordable as compared to Sigma brushes. But again, I've had this since I was 16 and I'm now 20. So if that doesn't say anything, I don't know what does. Now, what I like to do is I like to just take that same transition shade, and what I'm gonna do is I'm going to build this color up into that crease. So again, when you push your brush in, that's where you want your brush to follow, and it will start looking a lot darker because you're concentrating that color as opposed to dispersing it and blending it all out. And that's the whole point of a smoky eye. You want to just gradually build up that color and make sure that everything seamlessly blends into each other. So what I like to do with my maroon shade, I like to just pack it on with a regular eyeshadow brush. I have this one by Juno&Co that I like because it's really dense. This is the ES06. You can go in with your standard eyeshadow brush. You can find these on the dollar section of e.l.f. They definitely have it, the one with the white handle. This one's actually by Sigma. This is E35. Or you can go in with the concealer brush. Doesn't really matter. Like, you'll get the same effect either way. It's just whatever is your preference to pack on eyeshadow. So I'm just gonna take that maroon shade and I'm gonna just get that on my Juno&Co brush, and I'm going to pat that all over my eyelid. And I know it's not gonna look blended, but we're just gonna focus on patting this in right now. I'm gonna go back with my Sigma E35 brush, and this one is just going to go right along the edge of that maroon shade to blend it out into that transition color. And that's the whole point of the transition color. It's to give your eyelid color something to blend into and to make it look a little bit more natural. And pretty much this is like the bare minimum for a smoky eye, but if you like something a little bit more darker, a little bit more rich, you can go into that same eyeshadow brush and just pick up that dark shade and just pat it into the outer corner. Just pat it. And then go ahead with your E35 and blend it out again. Pretty simple. I love applying color onto my lower lash line because I feel like you need balance within an eye look. If you're gonna have eyeshadow on top, you don't want it to be top heavy, so you just apply a little bit of shadow onto the bottom. Now I have 3 brushes that I really like for this step. Now I have the ShopMissA E139. This again comes in the Faux Mink set. And then I have 2 by Sigma. This one is E32. It's something you see me use a lot on my channel. And then something to really define certain areas under my lash line is the E20. This one isn't so a blending brush, but it's more so something where you can pack on the color. And there is also another brush by ShopMissA, but it has color on it. This one is from their Pawpaw Charity brush set, and this is the E134. It is just the smallest pinpoint brush, and it's very similar to what I like to do with my E20, which is to just pack on the color and then blend it out later. I'm gonna just take my trusty old E32 and I'm gonna take the transition shade again. I'm going to look up into a mirror and take it right under my lashes and just ever so slightly blend it out. And then you can connect the shadow in the outer corner if you want to. Doesn't really matter if you do or not. And then to really deepen up and smoke that lower lash line if you want, you can just take a dense brush like this or the one from ShopMissA and take the darker shade. So I'm going to take that maroon and then the brown. Look up into the mirror again and apply it right where the lashes grow. And this will make it look a little bit more effortless, but a little bit more dramatic. And obviously an inner corner highlight is always optional. Since I don't have a highlighter shade in front of me, I'm just gonna take this rose gold and I'm gonna pop that right in the inner corner. And honestly, there is no particular brush to what you can use for your inner corner, but the one that I just used was my Sigma E30, something again I've had in my collection since I was 16. There is this one by Juno&Co. This is ES08. So anything in like this little dome shape is what I prefer for my inner corner. You can also use this one by ShopMissA E132. See that theme there? That's what I personally like for my inner corner. I just feel like it really fits in there nicely, and it doesn't blow out the color too much, but it also packs on the color really well because they are all dense. So now that you guys learned how to blend on this eye, I'm just gonna speed up the process on this eye so you guys can see everything all together, because I know that if I talk too much, some of you guys might get confused, and if you just watched what I do, it's a little bit easier. So let's switch sides here and let's get started. This video. Hope you guys all really enjoy. Now I pretty much just finished it with a coat of mascara and then some lip liner. That's pretty much it. I hope you guys all really enjoyed. I hope you guys learned something, and I know that for different people, depending on your eye shape, you guys kind of have to maneuver and figure out what's best for you. This one is pretty much standard. I feel like this can work for anybody. So thank you guys so much for watching and requesting this video. I hope it was helpful, and I will see you guys on my next one. Bye! Peace out, Girl Scouts.